Hey everybody, welcome to another recap of Celebrity Apprentice. Last week nobody was fired. So this week Holly's husband shows up and she surprises him with a giant check for the Hollyrod Foundation. And he surprises her with her 4 kids. It was really touching. I definitely cried. I didn't tell anybody, but I definitely cried. Alright, so they're at Trump Soho at the ballroom, which just happens to be unfinished, which is a little segue for Clockwork Home Services. It's 3 different companies. It's the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning, the Ben Franklin Plumber, and Mr. Sparky, the electrician. So the celebrities have to create 3 radio commercials that are 30 seconds each for the 3 different companies. The PMs this week are going to be Bret and Summer. So the winning team is going to get $20,000 for their charity, $20,000 from Trumpy and $20,000 from the Clockwork Home Services company. So Don Jr. is not there this week, so young Eric Trump, Donald's 3rd child, will be there for the very first time. And he went to Georgetown. That's probably why Trump hasn't included him on the show yet, because I'm pretty sure Don and Ivanka both went to Wharton School of Business, which Trump is like, oh, that's the best. So he might be a little embarrassed that his other son went to Georgetown. I don't know. All right, so Rock Solid. They automatically take it to the gutter level. Sucking plungers of Ben Franklin, and they were messing around with the other team's signs, turning them around so that they couldn't see the slogans, and the execs were not feeling the humor in the room whatsoever from Rock Solid, and there were no laughs. So on the Tenacity team, Cyndi is assigned to the lyrics and music of 1 jingle. She should have been doing like all of them. And they find out as well that humor is not going to be tolerated. These guys are stiffs. And Cyndi, she starts going on and on about this HBO special she saw and how Ben Franklin really likes his tub and bathing and wherever he goes, and he went to France, and it was on and on and on. Endless. So Summer, the way she did her team was she delegated a commercial to each of the other celebrities. And Cyndi's pretty disgusted with the ladies on her team because she doesn't think they're really feeling her. But you know what? Curtis secretly agrees. He thinks they're bitches. Alright, so Bret came up with some really cool ideas, I thought. He's really good at writing stuff up pretty quickly. You know, he's a little bit of a loose cannon, but he is very good at writing stuff quickly. And Curtis, on his team, he was kind of lacking in the whole brainstorming thing. I think it was kind of a language barrier, partially anyway. He just doesn't seem like a musical type guy. It's kind of stiff. Which should have been good, because that's what the execs were looking for, you know, some stiffness. So Bret, he took a big risk. He made a plumber's crack joke, and they were like, there's no way we like that. I don't, you know. But he told his team that he would take the fall if they didn't like it. Alright, so at Tenacity, they tried to shove a lot of information into their commercials. And they gave us too much information when Holly told us that her husband clogs the toilet on a regular basis. Don't need to know that. At Rock Solid, Maria kept humming all these weird, you know, everything that people said she would sing back. It was a bad musical. It was very bad. No one needs to hear that when they're trying to think. It's very distracting. Alright, Cyndi, I thought, was actually doing a really great job of writing and singing, but her voice was not 100%. It wasn't her fault. Again, something, you know, she had laryngitis. So the part of the show that I absolutely thought was ridiculous was when Maria went to go steal a slice of pizza for Bret. And Curtis was so pissed, like they had stolen a freaking gold bar or something. Come on, Bret. The guy's freaking diabetic. Do you want him to pass out and die? Alright, so it's time for the presentation. And day of, Summer and Holly did not want Cyndi to sing because they didn't think she would be able to pull it off. They thought she would miss her cues. She's a professional. She might act like a scatterbrain, but she's definitely a singing professional. I think it's something that she could definitely handle. So on Team Rock Solid, their presentation was very original. And the executives really loved Bret. They wanted him to be the spokesperson. But they hated the whole crack joke thing. At Tenacity, I don't know. They didn't say too much about them. It seemed like they liked them. A little bit, anyway. So in the boardroom, everybody loves their teams. It's such a big love fest. Oh, I love working with so-and-so. It's just so great. And Cyndi, again, tells Trumpy the story about Ben Franklin, about the HBO special. Has she got a deal with HBO or something? She was name-dropping them quite a bit. All right, so the executives loved Rock Solid's Sparky commercial, 8888 Sparky. Yeah, I did too. I thought it was pretty catchy. And they loved Tenacity's 1 hour heating and air conditioning spot because Cyndi sang it, and they loved to hear Cindy's voice because she was so good. She's professional. Of course they're going to love to hear it. And they loved the Ben Franklin commercial from Tenacity. But Rock Solid won. Haha. Despite the crack joke, which really pissed off Tenacity. So Bret ended up getting $40,000 for his charity, which was the American Diabetes Foundation or Association, I can't remember. And before Rock Solid left the room, Trumpy asked them who should be fired. And Bret said, well, it's Summer because she's tough and she's the project manager and I want her gone. But the ladies, Sharon and Maria, they can't stand Curtis. They think he should go, and Maria added that she wanted to punch him in the face. That was pretty cool. All right. When the show first started, I was rooting for Curtis to win, but he is such a stiff. He's really getting on my nerves. It's funny how I have these preconceived notions, and then as the show goes on, it's like, I want to punch him in the face. All right. So Cyndi is allergic to dust. That's why her voice wasn't doing so well. So, yeah, she gets a free pass on that one. And Trump says to Summer, I want 3 people in the boardroom. You got 4 on your team. Who's going to come back to the boardroom? Oh, Holly. It definitely should have been Cyndi. Holly should have been in the boardroom, but whatevs. So we find out eventually that Cyndi is safe as well because, come on, she did a lot of work and she was, very creative and everything. So it came down to Curtis versus Summer. They're both strong players, I guess. Summer ended up being fired, though, because she was the project manager and she couldn't defend herself in the boardroom. But Mr. Trump, I didn't know what to do. This is my first time in the boardroom. Oh, well, it's everyone's first time sometimes. So next time, Bret and Curtis end up switching places, which I think is going to make it very uncomfortable for Maria and Sharon. And they're going to be putting together an apartment all the way from paint to furnishings. So it's definitely going to be a must-see. Till then, much love.